because she was just so tired of cleaning up my sister's shit, right? She said, "Stop pooping. There's a bullet train is gonna come out of your butt." And you tell a 2-year-old kid this, and they believe you. So my sister didn't want to take a shit because she was so afraid that something scary would come out of her butt. And it took us like a week to get her to poo. And we had to feed her laxatives and all this. And she was, remember her crying on the toilet. Okay, so you do the, most of our blockages come from this life. This life. Whether it's because someone fed you something, whether you experienced something, or whether you deduced something wrongly. Okay, and that's gonna block you up. So your Shushumna is the central channel for energy. This is leading somewhere, and it's got to do with menopause, okay? It's leading somewhere. So the Shushumna is the central channel for energy, but we block ourselves up, or we do it to ourselves because of our reaction. So these are the different reactions. So let's look at Muladhara first, or the root chakra. What can block up the root chakra? All of these blockages are due to fear. Okay, so let's look at the fears. For Muladhara, a fear to your life. Okay, maybe you've gone through a life-threatening experience. A fear of security. Security takes on several meanings depending on your lifestyle. It might be financial. If you live off the grid, then you don't have to worry about financial. You can be broke and still eat. But, unfortunately, we're plugged into the grid, so financial. Health, fear for your health. Fear for your own personal safety. Fear for career, if you think that your job is your life. See how you tend to associate things with your life. Fear for your family, if you think your family are your life. So, all of this, lots of fears in Muladhara. Any of these can block you up or disconnect you from earth frequency. Okay? Alright. For Swadhisthana, we have childhood trauma before the age of 4. So, when we're a child, trauma can take on different, it's not just assault or abuse or any of, it's not only that. If you've got something you really love and they take that away from you, that's trauma. Okay? So we don't really know what a person and trauma is something that is personal. Certain people have a low tolerance level to suffering, and other people have a higher tolerance level to suffering. So if you're below the age of 4 and there's something you really love and someone just violently takes that away from you, that's trauma. Okay. Fear over appearance of physical body. You fear how you look. How you look gives you a certain fear that's been put there due to circumstances of life. You fear how you look, whether it's your body shape, whether it's your appearance, whether it's your gender, this sort of thing. Okay, that can block Swadhisthana. Okay. The third one is Manipura. So, victim mentality. You fear that someone has control or power over you, which results in anger. Okay? So, Anahata, you fear giving or receiving love, and sometimes the cause is some kind of grief episode in your life, like 5 people dying, for example. The same, frequency of grief, which starts to make you hesitant to put yourself out there anymore. Okay? And finally, we have Vishuddha, fear of expressing self to others due to fear of rejection, due to fear of misunderstanding. There's so many reasons why we would fear to speak our mind. And this blocks you up. So these are the things that block up the chakras. But the chakras are one channel, which is called the Shushumna. Just different levels that you can block yourself on in different segments of the body. Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha. I'm only going up to here for a reason, okay? Okay. So, through our life, we've accumulated fear. Yes or yes? Raise your hand if you've got no fear at all. Okay. Through our life, we've accumulated fear. And these fears are responsible for clogging the pipe we call Shushumna. Following so far? Okay. So I'm going to leave this up. Someone want to take a picture? Put it on the group? Yeah. I think Julie's doing it. Okay. Now, most people don't really know how to resolve these fears. The answer is unconditional love. The unblocker is unconditional love. Okay? I was sitting with a Swami a few days ago. I had dinner with him. And we were talking about Hatha Yoga and where it's going. I have some projects with him in 2021, but we were talking about Hatha Yoga and how it's going. And he said, it's come to a point that people believe that if they're broke and they stretch their hamstrings, they'll immediately solve the problem. You understand? Because you're working your legs. If you're working your legs, you're working on abundance. It's a little bit deeper than that. Being in touch of the area, yeah, it's good to be in touch with this area because you don't think about it, especially your toes. But what's gonna unblock you? Unconditional love. Any part of the body with a blockage, if you love that body part and accept every single cell in that body, even the bacteria, even the cancer, or even the bad muscle, can you just stop it with this bad business and just unconditionally love that part of you because it's part of you? Even the experiences you went through, can you just envelop those experiences with unconditional love? And can you just envelop the people who you feel did that to you with unconditional love? Because if you can do that, you're going to unblock. That's why we need processes and techniques and gurus. But really, at the end of the day, the one that's doing that is you. We're only facilitating you. You need to do that to you. You need to allow it to happen. Okay? So, now going to menopause and what happens to the woman. And that everyone needs to go through. So I'm going to erase this now. So we have rituals, we have bonds with, high vibrational beings. We have all these beautiful ceremonies for us to love this body, to love who we are, not only physically, but energetically, karmically, and everything, spiritually. You've got to tap into unconditional love to fix you. Okay, and this is what all of these beautiful modalities that we've shared with you this month are made to do. Let's look at the difference between a male body and a female body energetically. Okay, so I'll draw the energetic stick man of a female and a male. Okay, so this is the male. So we've got our head, and it's a circle because we've got this, you know how they draw the halo on the saints? That's a thing. Okay, that's all the energy channels and star portals in your head. Okay? Then you've got the Shushumna. So this is Shushumna. Okay? The central channel, which is connected to all this massive access portals here. Okay? Now, this is the heart space. And they have another vortex of energy around the heart. And that's basically the male. This is energy body, okay? Okay, now we go to the female who is still on their cycle. A female still on their cycle looks like this. You've got the star portals and the energy pathways in the head. You've got the Sushumna. And by the way, where are the chakras? Along the Sushumna. So you have chakras along the Sushumna. Okay? All the way up to the top of the head. So the last chakra is here. Okay? Alright. And we also have, like the male, at our heart, we also have a vortex of energy. Same. What the males don't have is at the Swadhisthana, another vortex of energy here. This is the female Pranamaya Kosha, energy blueprint, in a very simplified form, because you have all the nadis and we're not talking about that. We're just talking about the main highways of energy. This is the female on her moon cycle. This is what allows us to bring forth life. We're very powerful here. They don't have this. Okay? So it's true that this very powerful energy that we have, that men don't have. And it's really, this area is sacred because of this. Imagine what happens to that. It's an intense, intense vortex of energy. And what happens to that if, for some reason you don't regard this body as sacred anymore, clean anymore? When that quote, and I read the story this morning about this teenager from Norway that decided to end her life because she couldn't take the pain of all the sexual abuse that she suffered as a child. When you feel like this body is not sacred anymore. I can only imagine, I don't know how it feels, but I can only imagine what that does when this strong vortex of energy gets derailed. Okay? But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about menopause. So what happens during menopause? Well, this guy shuts down. But see, energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just gets transferred. So that huge vortex of energy that we've had going in us, all of a sudden that energy needs to go somewhere. Where does it go? Well, the only way for it to go is up. So what happens? Through the central channel, the vortex of energies in our hips, and we give her a name, it's called Shakti. And we give her another name, which is Kundalini. Okay? So what happens is that this vortex shuts down, but that energy needs to go somewhere. So it goes up. Right? It's where? Here. Okay? Maybe if you've got yogic awareness, it'll even go here. But the point is, it has to travel through the Sushumna. This is the point. It has to travel through the Sushumna. And if there are blockages, because this happens to people that experience Kundalini risings. Some of the symptoms of Kundalini risings are, you feel like you're on fire. Every single cell of your body feels like it's on fire. Symptom of Kundalini rising. Or Your senses become a little bit weird. Symptom of Kundalini rising. Or if you've got a lot of stuff here, you start becoming emotional as the energy moves up and it tries to push out whatever is in this is Kundalini and this is you, like, because no one's ever given you the tools to unblock you, right? No one's given you the tools, and Kundalini is coming up because its job here is done, so it just kind of pushes everything out of the way. This is why you feel the way you feel. It's only a theory. What happens when you inject unconditional love, and what happens when you work with modalities that will help you resolve all your... So it's really, autumn is really looking back. It's really looking back, because you gotta look back and dissolve all the stuff that you've kept and throw it all out, because it's not you anyway. Because Kundalini is gonna do it for you and just kind of push it all out of the way, and you feel like shit. Unfortunately, in our society, not only is the women's issues something that's not talked about, but Kundalini itself in the yoga world is a pretty taboo word. Okay? Like in Hatha Yoga, they say, oh, don't play with Kundalini and all that. It's just like the woman. It's been suppressed to a point that energy rising through the Shushumna has become imaginary, theoretical that people talk about. I swear to God, every single woman goes through it. It's just that we're not really looking at ourselves energetically, and we're not been giving the tools to be able to handle it. Yeah? I've seen people with Kundalini risings and they have the same symptoms. So if you unblock your chakras, perhaps, and I'll let you know in a few years, perhaps it will be a different experience. You'll still get a rush, but will anything be in the way? What happens when nothing's in the way? You can only imagine. Okay. So this is my insight to perimenopause and menopause. That before it's too late, love and accept every part of you. Every part. Without exception. Because unconditional doesn't mean, yeah, I love you, but. This is not unconditional. Yeah. I love you. Period. Now we can use the word period. I love you, period. And that's it. There's no condition. Every single cell of the body. Then you'll be alright, I think. Yeah. That being said, I want to share something personal. I think it was 2 years ago. I'm 47 now. Yeah, I'm 47. 2 years ago, when I was around 45, I went through this point that, um, the bleeding started to get really weird because it was so dry and it just like, it was brown. I was bleeding brown, not red. Hardly any red, and just mostly brown, and it was uncomfortable, it was itchy, and I just didn't feel like having sex with anyone. Yeah. But I thought that I had cancer because everyone around me was talking about cancer, right? And I started to get afraid inside. But I don't go to doctors. Okay, so I will not go to a doctor. So one day I sat, I was in quite a spiritual place, and I sat and I tapped into the unconditional love of my heart and brought it down and sat there with my womb and said, whatever you're going through, just want you to know I love you. Okay, I sat there. I sat there, flooded the area with golden light, every single cell, even the imaginary bad ones. And I said, whatever you're going through, I just want you to know I love you. And I just kept saying that. And I kept saying that, and I kept saying that. I don't know how long I was there. I don't remember. But what happened after that was then my periods became regular again. And I don't get pain, and it's only 3 days. Then I'm in spring. Um, after that episode, I don't know what happened. But I know without a doubt that unconditional love is what you need to do. Okay? If something gets in the way of unconditional love, like being a victim or being angry or being afraid to love, or having fear, and not really accepting where you are and who you are at this point in time, then we have a problem. Okay? So, if you can say that to yourself, I might not get any periods anymore one day. I'm okay with that. Because the energy is going here. Think about it. Your capacity to love becomes fivefold. How many amazing things could you do for the world and for your family? But you need to get over your shit, or that's not going to happen. So I'll leave you with that. Just to chew on. Okay? Just chew on it.
I'm looking forward to the response of your future
I
self.
know, I can't wait. I really can't wait. I ended the letter with looking forward to hearing from you, sending you much love, present Peewee. So because I really want to know. I have so many questions. What's happening energetically when you, it's really interesting. But anyway, that's my theory. Based on maybe their download and the experiences I've had with working with people. My guru specializes in helping people with Kundalini risings, spontaneous ones, to 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 have a proper experience, to clear the way to have a proper experience. And I've met a lot of these people, and not all of them are women. Some of them are men. Okay, so it's might be a thing. Don't know. We'll find out. I'd like to thank you all for coming to this course, really. And if you can just share this stuff with every woman you meet so that, you know, we can do our part to awaken Shakti again because she's really awakening. But let's lead her down the right road, not the wrong road. Okay, let's lead her down the right road. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you.
And an ant in my bra. Sorry.
I'm gonna